All right, I think we're live now. We had some technical issues. After watching that intro, I feel like going to the beach or something and relaxing, but instead, I get the pleasure of talking to Allison. The focus of this whole little series was to try to create more of a community of like minded people. So, we've had a chiropractor, we had an intuitive healer, we're going to have a physical therapist next month. We had Dara last month, our nurse. So, this week, I have someone named Allison Gomer. We were chatting beforehand, and I think we met in 2018. And then we've kind of been bumping into each other and doing some little things along the way. So, Allison, who are you?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on, Adam. My name is Allison Gomer. I am a licensed psychotherapist, and I've also gotten my real estate license in the last year. So I'm kind of juggling the real estate life, but bringing in psychotherapy aspects into the real estate realm.
Okay, so I'll just call you the psycho. And with that, you work with your husband, Dan. You have two children.
Yes.
And so I say that because you're a human, right? You do the same thing that everyone else does. You have to show up to do some sort of work to give back to the community. You want to make some money to support the family and do fun things, right?
Exactly.
Just a person? Okay,
Just a person,
good,
just a,
good.
doing life, trying to make the world a better place, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh. So with that, you've done the licensed psychotherapy for what, 12
Well,
years, I think? Yeah.
yeah.
So you and I knew each other that way also because we had a few mutual patients and they all seemed to love you. So
I got you.
so that you were doing well at. I remember when you got your more advanced degrees 4 years
Yes.
ago or something or whatever. So why didn't you stay with that life?
Good question. So, I love psychotherapy and I love counseling people. It's a really honestly, it's special to be able to witness and hear people's lives and their secrets and their deep dark things that they don't want really the world to know about. And so I kind of feel a little bit like I was, or I am, when I was working heavily in being a counselor. I loved it, and I felt like I was, I was kind of a midwife. Like I kind of like helped people through that. And then it got to be a lot for me. And to be really transparent, I was beginning to see a lot of crisis, and I was beginning to see that I was working outside of my wheelhouse.
Hmm?
And it was time. It was like time for me. I just felt like it was time for me to transition. And my husband, Dan, and I have been married for 21 years, and we actually like each other. So we decided that someday it might be fun to like work together. And he's been in real estate for 15 years. So I've gotten the pleasure to kind of see the craziness of real estate, the ups and downs. And so I got my real estate license last year, and I was like, you know what, it would be really fun if we put our heads together and we brought kind of the real estate and psychotherapy aspect, like mindfulness and the idea of making, encouraging people to be healthier so that their businesses can reflect that.
Sure. Well, and I'm going to rewind a little bit because I
Okay.
see this all the time, and I don't know if the regular public sees it. I will first say every field, every profession, every whatever is hard. Like everyone has a hard time. It's easier when we have a community of supportive people. Medical, or you with the behavioral health stuff, like we do see stuff behind the doors that no one else sees, and people tell us stuff, and it can be really heavy. I think you're an empathetic person, like an empath. You feel their energy and their sadness and their torture. I know I do the same thing in what we do here.
Yeah,
So that is a great recipe for burnout. And I wondered, I want you to correct me here, but I
yeah,
suspect you kind of felt a hint of that. Well, I'll
definitely.
point to me. I'll point to me. So when you met me doing what I was doing, urgent cares and all that stuff, I got broken. And I was like, this is done.
Yeah.
I need to get out of medicine or change. And that's where we started New Meds. So for you, I'm feeling like it might be a similar story. Either you need to get out of behavioral health field or just do something different.
Exactly. You nailed it. Yep.
So,
Definitely on the burnout end of things.
mhm.
Yeah.
Well, it's and you said it, and I say this a lot also. I mean, what an honor. We get to have people tell us stuff with such trust. In sometimes desperation, sometimes with love, all these different things. Like, man, I'm a lucky guy. But damn, sometimes like when you go home and you have to put on your happy face and do all the other stuff, it can be challenging. So I only say all of that because I could have gotten out, but instead we did a different model of medicine. So for you, you could have gotten out of the psychotherapy realm completely and done something else.
Yeah.
But when you first told me that you were working with Dan, I was like, oh, like just doing realtor stuff. Like you just buy and sell houses, right? No, you're doing something different. So what? And I always tell people like this isn't a sales call. This is a really cool thing that we're doing in our community. So what are you doing to make Rialto partners different than the other real estate person?
Yeah. Well, I just have such a passion for I honestly, I love people. I love people, and I would be a horrible real estate agent selling houses. Like that sounds terrible. I don't want to do that. So, I mean, the idea was get the real estate license, and with the platform that with the brokerage that we're at, which is EXP, we have this platform where we can teach. And so I was
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant because I can kind of still do I'm not doing psychotherapy. I'm not doing, let's make this clear. I'm not doing therapy with people, but I
Yep.
can bring the psychology. I can bring the idea of like, improving health, improving wellness, improving mental health,
Mhm.
and merge that with real estate agents because we all know that real estate agents, it's high burnout and people are always stressed out. And so if I can help, reduce some of the stress
Yep.
and help give ideas on like healthy habits, micro habits, this idea of like taking care of yourself, like self-care,
Mhm.
that's what really gets me going. And I'm excited. Like I'm in real estate, but I think that I'm also in like the helping people industry as well still.
Well, heck yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I had sent this to you, I think, yesterday. I always make some little notes, and I don't use them at all. I just randomly talk about crazy stuff. So, but one of the things I had said is, and we both said this sort of, but trust and an emotional safety make me a better person doing whatever I'm doing at the grocery store. So
Totally.
it's true for everyone, right? So this isn't just for realtors, right? And you're not even doing real estate topics sometimes. You're doing human topics, right?
Human topics.
And the thing is, all of us, and I'm joking when I say this, but all of us hate working with a realtor. They take like 5 or 6% of your hard earned money and they just disappear with it and go on vacation. So, and I'm kidding there, but
If you only knew. Just kidding.
so I have many realtors here. Yes, I know about the fees and the licenses and all this other craziness. But I bring that up because, you know, I find this with any industry. If I have to get my tires rotated, if that guy's happy or gal and on their game, man, it's such a pleasant interaction. I want to go back there. I want to give them business because I have to give it to somebody. So with a realtor specifically, I can have the one who's just checking boxes and kind of showing up, and that's okay sometimes. Or the other one who just seems like a nice human. And guess who I'm going to go back to over and over is
Exactly.
one. So my impression is you guys, and I don't know if I have worked with realtors for a long time, so I know that everyone's working on stuff, the education, the power stuff. But I don't know. I'm not in the field. I don't know that anyone else is doing what you're doing.
I I I don't know either, but I can say that I haven't met anyone who
Mhm.
is. And I listen, there are millions of classes on how to sell, how to um, do an open house, how to do your CMA, how to like there's plenty of classes on that. And you're totally right. Like we know that we can go find a realtor off of whatever realtor.com or whatever and just
Sure.
pick this realtor, but are they going to represent us the best? And
Mhm.
my idea behind this, what we're doing, my husband and I with rialtopartners.com, not .com, Rialto Partners, is that we're really going after. yeah, how to treat our customers,
Yep.
our right, the other people that we're negotiating with humility and with negotiating in a way that's going to actually connect with people, and that means also understanding people and not just selling.
Yep. So, and I've heard this stuff also, but if you want to just go make a ton of money in any field, you might be able to do it actually. But a lot of times, there's divorce rates go up. There's substance abuse. There's all the other stuff because you're going to give something. But the people that go and try to make a better relationship as a carpenter or as a truck driver, it comes. What goes around comes around really. So that's what I think you're doing is you're trying to make better people.
Well, and I think you hit it on the nail that it's like happiness is an internal job. And we can go
Right.
out and we can spend a ton of time trying to make that money, but like you
Mhm.
said, our relationships might give, our I don't know, our health might give. There's
Yep.
all these different things that are going to go away if we're putting all of our poker chips into making money.
Mhm.
So the idea around what our team is based on is like really trying to find balance. And what does that mean? In fact, we're actually about to have a big event June 11th on balance. And that means that we have to have movement and we have to really be aware of how we are inside and also how we are with other people and how sometimes this path
Mhm.
is can take it can feel slower than
Yes.
what, all lights out and everything else, and I'm just tunnel visioning with
Yeah.
making money.
Yep.
Sometimes but the idea is that it's a more balanced well-being kind of
Mhm.
life that we're creating, and we're much happier
Yes.
overall and in the end.
Well, I'll inject this to say in the office medical stuff, I'm talking to people all the time and I say, the end of Allison is dead. Like that's the end of the story. It always ends with blah, 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 dead. So we have from now until then to try to make an experience out of it. And usually that's my fifth pillar is sense of purpose, your people and relationships. So if you have all the money, and money's not bad. I love money. I want some money. I want you to make money. So we need it. We definitely do. But in the end, the cliches on the deathbed, no one's like, I wish I made an extra $100. Nobody's ever said that. But people often say, I wish I had talked to my son or my daughter or made up with my best friend from childhood. We had a falling out. All those little things. So as a culture, we seem to be focused on transactional relationships as opposed to real relationships. And that's why I think that maybe 10,000 years ago, if someone in my tribe got hurt, no one got pissed off. We got scared because now we have to cover for that person because they're vital. Everybody's vital. Everybody, whatever they do, they can make baskets or get meat. It's still equally important. And now it's transactional. What are you worth to me? How much can I add it up to?
Hmm.
And that, I feel, but this is your department, is, well, we overlap, you and I, but loneliness, disconnectedness. I think in the book Tribe, he talks about how some people can walk around a city for a whole week and not see a familiar face. What does that do for the person? So,
Oh my goodness. I mean, this is such a huge topic right now. And I mean, the idea is that, well, let me back up. So you're totally right. We live in this culture where we're in a space of transactional relationships. I mean, especially with social media and just this idea of having a device right here, and where I'm seeing people all the time. It's just this is their relationship.
mhm.
And so the idea in what I'm trying to create, and I think what you're trying to create too, is community and connection and having like real conversation. I mean, I
Mhm.
think also this idea of like communication is um, it's people are struggling right now in communicating because it's easier to do a text message rather than actually have like a real conversation. And what is that going to look like? People don't really know how to have conversations. with people these days, I don't think. And so it's like, yeah, I think it's important to teach our children and our coworkers. And that's why I'm, having these classes with these real estate agents. It's like how to communicate effectively is actually one of the classes that we have. We have a class called What You Should Have Learned in Real Estate School But Didn't. And so, just the idea of like, how do you negotiate well and what's actually happening underneath, instead of taking it personally. This person is actually feeling very protective about their client. And so, um, I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I think today there's a real struggle around transactional
Sure.
connection, and how do we break through? How do we break through with? I mean that, yeah, Adam. How do we break through in terms of teaching people how to have real connection versus transactional connections?
And I mean, I'm 53. I've been working on this stuff for decades, and even do our own little practice here for 8 years. There's something that I had seen on some little notes, which was authenticity versus performance.
Yes.
And even now, I've been a PA over 20 years. Even now, I'm still sometimes saying, wait, stop trying to sound smart and just talk. And I
Oh
think
my
I do
God.
that well,
I love
but
this.
just talk.
Yeah.
And it works so well. People freaking love it.
Yeah.
So I know other people use a lot of big words. I know the big words, but I like to think like a
Yeah.
child. So,
I
so
I love that you brought that up, because I think that we're also, the transactional piece is kind of this idea, like I think that our society, we're like, we have to be perfect, or I see this thing on Instagram and then I have to be like that, and it's like people really just want transparency.
yep,
And that's what you're giving people here on this podcast, is like,
that's what we're going
it's
for.
not this refined perfect thing. It's, this is us, and this is, come listen in. And I think that raw um, content is what people are really wanting and are hungry for.
So, and I'm jumping around here, and you said
Yeah.
before, I don't know if I'm answering your question. I don't even know if I have a question. So, another thing was, man, I just lost it. I had some little note thing. Oh, the role of relationships and personal well-being. So, if I'm
Yeah.
going to a carpet store and the person's having a crap day, it's going to affect our relationship. Everybody has a bad day. That's fine. But I just keep hammering at that, is the individual needs to do some work. And I say, in the office, I'll say this to you, Allison, or whoever else, but I say, I don't care if you're talking to a psychotherapist, a priest, a bartender, a tree, or a dog. If it's working, keep doing it. So you got to find what works for you. There's so many different tools. But yeah, we're not going to answer this today. We don't know the answer of how. We can't rewind the clock. We can't undo all the social media, which we're doing right now. It can be used to help people connect. But to your point, I was going to say this earlier, is if you and I have a conversation by text, and we do, it's fine. It's transactional. Show up at this time, do this, send this over to the place. But if we have at least a video here, but I mean, I can see your cues. If you start cringing over there, I'm saying something wrong, and that's something that's lost on texting or email or whatever it is. So yeah, I think those things are important. It's tough. I mean, I know a lot of people. Sometimes I don't feel like leaving my room. I'm just comfortable there. I don't have to do anything. But now I'm going in wild.
Yeah.
That's what.
Well,
Yes.
I want to go back to what you were talking about, like the authenticity. Like I feel like when we can actually communicate and not just, I mean, text message, of course, like we need
Mhm.
text messages, but like, to really be able to communicate effectively, and to like, I think it comes authenticity, right? And
Mhm.
trust. And there was something else that you brought up. Now I'm kind of losing it too. Um, anyway, being authentic, communicating and if you don't know how to communicate, maybe read a book like Super
Yep.
Communicators is an amazing book on communication.
Okay.
And oh, that brings me back to the other thing that I was going to say is, if you're struggling, like you said, Adam, like you're recommending people to like go talk with somebody, go talk to a trusted friend, a partner, a tree, a dog, like communing, connecting. I think that that's
Mhm.
really what we are all looking for, is that connection and that community with others, that we can find like common ground with people. Yeah.
Well, in my crazy brain, I'm hammering all the time ancestral living. So Homo sapiens living in a tribe of upwards of 150 people. If you don't know your people, there's a problem there. If you guys get attacked or trying to hunt, it's going to be uncoordinated. It's not going to work. You're going to die. And
Yeah.
so we had an interconnectedness within the community. And that's why I say, like, not that anyone really, well, hopefully no one does this now, but you don't look at someone and say, oh, Allison's a therapist. Haha, she's a woman and she does this, or I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
But if I was to stereotype, I'd say, like, me, if my job was making baskets, that might be seen as manly or womanly or whatever you want to call it. But back in the day, if I was really good at making baskets, man, you want my baskets. Meaning, everything is so damned important, and that's why I think you and I have done this in our professional careers. But I mean, I remember at urgent care, I met a woman, and I was like, "What do you do for work?" And she's like, "Blah blah blah something," and I was like, "What is that?" And she's like, "Do you have a credit card?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "We make the plastic," and I was like, "Huh? Wow. Yeah, I guess we need those people." Um, I mean, so the connectedness is what I'm getting at
That's
there.
right.
And that's
That's
why
right.
now you can sit at home in your basement, just doing your thing all day long, not see a person, and you can be contributing. And some people, that's what they should do, not judging it, but knowing how to interact with people, that's what we're losing as a culture, which we are social animals. So
Right.
here's my crazy
Right.
thought.
So, I mean, how do you think that community, because this is kind of where my brain is always going, is like, how is community like going to increase the health and wellness of other people? Like, why is community so important? And I think we touched on like the connection,
Mhm.
but like what are your thoughts on that?
Well, if we see people as chips, or we just say before, I don't know, something
Oh,
monetary.
poker chips. Yeah, poker
Yeah.
chips.
If we see people as that, then it's whatever. If they get hurt, no big deal. Or if they do this, they do whatever. For me, I'm lucky. I have some army guys in the circle, just a couple of us. But if they ask me to do something tonight at midnight, I'll do it. There's no question. And if I ask them to do it at 2 a.m., they'll do it. No question. There'll be some complaining from all of us, but whatever. It'll get done. And that's because there's trust, there's connectedness, and there's communication. So it's no question. I use this a story all the time, but when I was in Kosovo deployed in 2020, Dara, my wife nurse, I think she messaged me, oh, the toilet's leaking. So I messaged one of my guys, and I think within 2 hours he's at the house and fixed it. That's community. That's
Yeah.
having back.
That's like reliability, like
Mhm.
knowing that someone's going to show up, like that trust.
And that's a hard thing. I lucked out because I had some military thingies and all that. But when I talk to soldiers, I say the same thing, like, get a buddy. Like, which is so hard to do. Like, go make a friend, Jimmy, now that you're back at school, but do it.
Do it. Yeah,
Part of that, I think, requires you understand yourself first.
absolutely. And that kind of goes into what I was going to say next, is that I think there's a lack of community here because of what we talked about with like this disconnection.
Hmm.
I think people are running in fight or flight mode. Like, we are in survival. I am also sometimes in survival. Like, whoa, I gotta, whoo, it is, we are on the run. We are being lit with a fire underneath us, and it's just
Yep.
go, go all the time. And I truly believe that our society, like our culture, is really in this like go, go, go state. So how can we connect with each other if we're always in a place of survival and we're always in a place of fight or flight? Because when that happens, we tighten down and we're very self-serving when we're in a place of survival. So I think it can be difficult to go out and make that friend when we're not really feeling the like outward pull to go connect
Hmm.
with somebody.
So, and I think I have an answer, a partial answer, because I don't know
Oh,
everybody.
good, because I don't know either. I'm just
No, but
saying.
you do, because I think that maybe even psychotherapy, the first step in addressing a problem is recognizing that there is a problem.
Self-awareness.
Self awareness. Yep. So, and I'm not saying this is easy. I have many patients who are severely struggling with this. This is the hardest. What to eat's the hardest thing to figure out. Then there's exercise, movement, sleep, stress management, sense of purpose. What is your job in the tribe? Why do you deserve to be here, Allison? And that's why, don't answer, that's rhetorical. But like some people don't have an answer. So that really stinks. So I would say in the quick version is one, is there an issue? Like, do you recognize the self-awareness? And then two, sometimes I tell people, just take a breather, because who's the worst critic? Yourself. So part of this is you beating up you, so knock it off. And then unplug, like literally go outside. I saw this years ago or something, but the concept that everything in my room here, you too, Allison, probably, is a straight line. Everything around me. What in nature is a straight line? Absolutely nothing. So it's curvy and bendy and different depths and all. It's not all 18 inches for my eyeballs. So I'm a big fan of saying, like, you don't have to go climb Everest, but maybe just go to the local park. There's studies on that. People just sat and saw the green curvy things like trees, which are brown too. But blood pressure goes down. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Getting out in nature, huge.
And I'm not an
Huge.
idiot, because I know if I go sit in nature for 2 hours, does that pay the mortgage? No.
No, but hey, go find a patch of grass like you talked about. Everybody has, if it's not cloudy out, everybody has blue sky to go look at, and we know that that increases all kinds of goodness inside of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So recognizing that there are days when I recognize that I'm grumpy, and I'm like, why am I grumpy? And when we had little babies, we'd say it's because they're hungry, they're tired, or they need to poop. And then I say, the adults, it's the same darn thing. So are you hungry, Allison? Do you have to poop? Do you have to go get a nap?
Yeah.
It's all those things over.
And
Self-awareness.
I think the thing that I'm hearing us coming back to is the self-awareness piece. I just feel like that's just so critical. And if we don't have self-awareness, how are we going to even know that it's not working well? We might feel really off and we might not know why. And so to be able to have that self-reflection, just even if you're having trouble finding self-reflection, go talk to someone.
And I guess one little technique I could have with that is if you're not ready or you don't have the financial ability to go talk to a paid person who's trained in this stuff, but at a minimum, like, because we've been doing this, you can go on your library website and get an audiobook or just go borrow a book, and you can just read something. You can read 10 pages and say, no, stupid, put it back. But it's interesting, and I think this is the core of many psychotherapy sessions, is they don't give you new information. They actually just reinterpret what you're saying, and then it sounds different. You're like, oh my God, that clicks.
Yes,
Now I understand. Is that wrong?
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we should put this, so you should work on you, right?
Work
Then
on
you'll
you.
be a stronger wife, you'll be a stronger mother and a friend and a community leader.
Yeah.
That's a win. Like, holy good
That is
job.
a huge win. And a book that I just came upon a couple months ago that is so good
I'm ready.
is called, oh, now I'm not going to remember it.
Oh, sorry, Allison.
I remember the author's name. Her name is Shade. The book is about self-doubt. I'll have to,
How's your spell today?
Shade with a little accent mark. That's her first name. She's a researcher in self-doubt. I am so sorry that I'm forgetting the name of the book, but
What is the shadow shelf? So,
no.
there.
Um, I'll
Yeah.
find it. But it is a really, really great book
Hmm.
to begin to have self-awareness around self-doubt. And, self-doubt, I think, can be something that keeps us from connecting with others, getting, outside of ourselves, leaning into challenges, growing. Self-doubt is actually a lot bigger than, I've been in my career for 12 years and I read this book and I was like, wow, I had no idea that self-doubt was really running the majority. It's like this background software that's running
Yeah,
most
I
of
love
the
it.
time.
I just told my 21-year-old the other day, I said, this is throughout medicine, but I think it's throughout everything. Similar to what you just said is the imposter syndrome.
Yep.
I've been a
Yep.
PA over 20 years. I have 4 degrees, and I still doubt myself sometimes, like an idiot.
Yeah.
And then that's when so if I recognize it, self-awareness, then I just say, this person wants to talk to me about some issue thing. Just listen. Shut
That's
up,
right.
listen, and then give them the right answer. And it always comes out. It's amazing.
It is.
So yeah. So what's your summary, Allison?
Okay, well, I found the book. It's called Big Trust.
Big trust.
Big Trust. I think the thing that the thing that I would like to say is that it's in all of this conversation. It's I think it's first about connecting in with yourself and just taking a peek inward. And if that's scary, just take it one little block at a time, and getting out and getting into nature and connecting with others, and being authentic. Like, you're not as bad as you think you are. That's the thing that I'm learning about myself is that, and working with other people is that we oftentimes feel like we're the biggest critic, and
We are.
yeah,
And we don't recognize it. That's the super ego and all that stuff.
that's
And
right.
I will say this because I just said let's summarize, and now I'm thinking of more stuff. But oh, this sounds all what a woo woo and all that stuff. But we're social animals, Homo sapiens. We were meant, I believe, to work in our tribe and to support each other as a community. That I think that's the intention of whatever made us. So I would say this: you, Allison, were created for some reason. It's really hard to figure it out sometimes, but if you can find the reason, things are good. That's it.
Purpose.
And maybe it's a ton of, maybe you make $5 billion next year, or maybe you guys have a setback, but then that restores resilience to know if you're, like for me, when I started New Med, we had zero income with expenses. That was rough for about a year. But I was like, there's no alternative. This is what I'm doing. This is the path. So, and that's very hard because I find this with a lot of young people, early 20s, late teens. What do I do?
Mm.
Anyway, so let's not get all crazy into that, but just,
Oh man, we could have a whole nother conversation about that.
yeah. So connect more to figure out who you are and what thing are you supposed to do in your tribe. You're supposed to
Yeah.
use your hands, supposed to use your mind, maybe your feet, whatever it is. There's a lot of things to be done out there, and the world needs each of us. So
Yes.
figure out what that is.
Yeah. And I think one more thing that I will say is, Um, if you're having a hard time, as hard as it might seem, to do something good for somebody else always raises the ability to connect more. Like, it makes us feel really good. Like when we do
Mhm.
something better for somebody, it makes us feel good. And so, that's a way to kind of get out of ourselves when we're in this place of like not feeling good about who we are.
Love it. All right, Amy's our MC back there. So, yeah, Allison Gomer, super psychotherapist and bringing it to the community, which that realtor might be selling your house soon. So that's a good
Yeah.
thing. Keep going, Allison.
Love it.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you so much.